How do you capture the authenticity of a memory? The way it looks, the way it sounds, but most importantly, the way it feels. How do you capture the unspoken elasticity of a moment? The ever-changing nature of your surroundings. Alfonso Cuarón lets us dive into a memory, revisiting life in 1970s Colonia de Roma. He carefully crafts a world around Cleo, a representation of his much-beloved childhood caretaker. It's an intimate and wholly empathetic exercise towards understanding some of the past traumatic events of their family without casting any judgment, just the hope of staying true to the moment. Alfonso Cuarón manages to recreate this memory by respecting the subtle integrity of space, time, and emotion needed to form a moment. When I mention space, I'm referring to the place we inhabit and the things that surround us. Everything in our proximity is a part of our lives, whether we want it or not. People, objects, places, it's all a part of our context and how they can directly or indirectly affect us. Alfonso Cuarón takes the time to familiarize us to the people he knew, the places he went to, and the moments he lived in them. From the beautiful wides to the intimate close-ups to the camera movements, they are all filled with details, either to reveal character or context. Everyday clutter can be seen decorating the corners of a room, or half-eating plates on the dinner table. They are incredibly mundane details that become invisible to us, but are present in our daily lives. He populates the frame with a staggeringly realistic amount of people. Instead of the colors, it's the extras and the constant chaotic flow of life that make the scenes vibrant. The black and white manages to grab all the information and cultural context and compress it in the same frame. The background and the foreground meld together, focusing on what the image makes us feel and what it makes the director feel. A great example of the use of space is when Cleo is walking in the street and the camera tracks her movement. We see several people minding their own business in the middle of a flurry of conversations, living on the frame for a second, showing how much unprocessed life happens constantly and around us at all times. We also see what happens when our personal space intersects with its surroundings. Cleo goes to purchase a crib for her unborn child, and at the same time, a student protest is in full swing. We hear the protest at a distance, but the camera starts panning towards the window, and the sound of the outside is increasingly drowning out the sound from the shop. The scene that was progressing in the background is now taking over the foreground of the story. The protest erupts without warning, and the two worlds collide. A historical event spills over and interrupts the main character's life. Random chaos enters and intrudes in our personal space, and doesn't leave without us being unaffected by it. Time is like water. Water can rush, crash, or stop and freeze, constantly changing. What Cuarón does with time is, he lets it flow. He respects its changing nature and what it can reveal. In other movies, we tend to omit certain aspects of a scene to advance the narrative, like starting a scene very late, cutting it short, or inserting cutscenes to add momentum. But in this case, the flow of time is an essential component of the storytelling. He allows a moment to breathe when it needs to, like in the theater scene with Cleo waiting for her boyfriend to come back from the bathroom after she tells him she's pregnant. It's a prolonged moment of near silence, but not of emptiness. The longer the scene goes, the more we see doubt grow in Cleo, until she realizes he's not coming back. Or it could be a fleeting moment, like the scene where Cleo and the kids are going to watch a movie, and they bump into their father exiting the theater with his mistress. It's fast and unexpected because important moments in our lives can happen with zero buildup or dramatic tension. They just present themselves and leave us to solely process what just occurred without any explanation. But the most striking moment is when Cleo gives birth. It's a scene that goes beyond the length of comfort. The character is immobilized, giving birth to a baby that has no heartbeat. There are no cuts, no inserts, and the camera stays almost completely still. Yet the frenetic movement of the audible back and forth of the doctors and nurses become disorienting. The main character is helpless, being stitched by the nurses in the foreground, while the child is being pronounced dead in the background. The scene keeps going as the doctors let Cleo hold the baby for the first and last time. A moment can be so surreal that we have no way to cope with it. All we can do is surrender to the situation. Just like in real life, moments don't have a clear ending. We can only hope for them to subside and their traumatic volume to decrease with time. Cuarón took a peculiar approach to writing and filming the movie. He let the script pour out of him without filtering himself or paying too much attention to the character relations or overarching plots. He didn't give the actors a full script, only what they had to shoot on the day. He also used several non-actors for the roles. Sometimes they would just go by his instructions. If they did one take, they would do the second one differently, so it would never be the same scene twice. All this to be able to rely on instinct, reacting to what's happening and never being completely in control or being sure of what's going to happen next. Being able to create a moment and letting it exist in the frame. It's to emulate our unprompted reactions to everyday situations. Because just like how both space and time can be dynamic, so can our emotions. In one moment, we can be completely in the throes of passion, and in the next, alone and rejected, or expecting a child, and then having to deal with the loss, or being completely angry, and then being filled with extreme guilt. We are constantly juggling several emotions at the same time. A good scene that represents this is when the mother takes the whole family on a trip. After a day at the beach, they all go to a restaurant. The family seems happy and enjoying the meal, until the mother unceremoniously reveals to the children that their father has left them. And the reason they're on vacation is to allow the father time to get all his things out of the house. The kids' happiness quickly shifts to confusion, as one of the children breaks down and the youngest looks around to know how to react. Without having time to process, the waitress comes into the foreground and starts telling the family about the desserts they serve, making the situation even more awkward. A moment is always composed of several emotions. They don't wait in line for you to figure out how to digest each one. Because that's how moments are in real life. They don't apologize for intruding. They flow in and out of our lives whether we want them or not. And sometimes we don't even know how we should react to them. Life is chaos that happens around us constantly and everywhere. It's random and unpredictable, without explanation, permission, or resolution. It doesn't ask if it can ruin your day. It just happens, and we happen around it. We are just one more dot in this grand, ever-changing mosaic of life. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. We would really appreciate it. Until next time.